Okay, so today we're going to be going over how to use the ALS character with a voxel world. This is also going to be integrated with the cubic destruction world on the other ALS basic versions. The feet do not work very well with the world. I can show you an example of what it normally looks like. If you're having this issue, this is probably what it's looking like. Just wait for it. So the character is going to walk over to the voxel area, and on the other screen your legs are going crazy. So how do we fix that? The issue is the feet. So what we're gonna have to do, at least I believe it's the issue with the feet, what we are going to have to do is get a different type of ALS. So we're going to be getting this ALS. This is called the ALS Refactored. I'll add this to the description. If I end up not adding it for whatever, just look at this link, copy it, and you should be able to have access. To download, all we're going to do is going to code and then download as a zip. There's a couple things you have to do after this. Keep in mind, this may not work for projects that were started as blueprint projects, unfortunately. I spent a lot of time on a project that I started as a blueprint, and it will not work with this version because this was built with 93% C++. So even if you were to add a C++ class to your already built blueprint project, unfortunately, there's a possibility that it will not work. Okay, so say you do have a C++ project. It doesn't necessarily need to be fully only C++, but it was built as a C++ and you're adding blueprints or whatever. In that case, once you download this, you're going to go to Unreal Engine. You're going to launch the latest version. Currently we're at 5.0.3. By the time this is uploaded and you see it, there might be a newer version for ALS Refactor, maybe Unreal Engine 5.1. So 5.1 on our hair. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to go to games. We're going to pick the one we want. We're just going to do a third person. We're going to name our project, and we're going to make sure that we tick C++. If you already have a C++ project, or you manage to get the blueprint project to work, you can skip this step, of course. So we're going to create this project. Let it take its time to build. It takes a little longer with C++ projects, so I'm just going to let it go. Okay, so now that we have our project, you're going to notice that it's just obviously a basic world. We haven't added anything to it yet. So the next thing to do is to go back to our ALS Refactored. You're going to notice here it says to clone it to your repository or download the latest release. So download the latest release, and what we're going to do is we're going to extract it to our project's plugins folder. So the way we do that, we're going to go to our Epic Games. We're going to find the new project. I called it video example. We're going to right click it, show in the folder, and as you see, we don't have a plugins folder. So how do we do that? So we're going to right click, new folder, plugins, enter, and in plugins we are going to throw in our downloaded repository. So let me pull mine out. Get a new folder here. So let's go to downloads. This is our refactored, so we can't just throw this in because this is a WinRAR file. We're gonna get it. Once we open the WinRAR file, we can just unzip it directly into the plugins folder. Now that it's in there, we have one more step to do. Step 2 says merge the default engine INI and default input INI files into your plugins config from your project's config folder. So how we do that, we are going to open up here, you're going to go to config, engine default, you're going to get this little notepad. So what we're going to do with that, we're going to go back to our project. Oops, I lost it. Let me get it back here, show on folder. Alright, so we're here, we're going to type in default engine INI, and you're going to get this pop up. So what it's saying to do is add this code into here. So what we got to do, we got to look at here, system settings, we got to find that section in this one. If it isn't in, if you don't see a bracket with system settings, then just add it yourself. So let's look. I don't see system settings. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to Control A, Control C, and I'm going to go to the bottom, make a space, add it myself, and I'm going to save the file. Next, we're going to be doing the default input. Default input INI. We have this, and we're going to go into our plugins, ALS, config, input. Alright, so this one's going to be a little different. So we have a script.engine, script/engine.input settings. As you see here, we actually do have that. So we are going to go to the bottom of this, and we're going to add these here, not including this top. Throw that in there, and for the rest we can add all of this. Okay, we're gonna give it a space and save. Once we have done that, we can close these, and I believe we should be able to run the file. Let me close my project. Now we're going to reopen it, video example. You're going to see that it says the following modules are missing. With the blueprint version, it may fail, but once we've done all that, we're going to press yes. Okay, so it is actually loading, meaning that it did not fail. We're just going to wait for this to populate here. Okay, so now on the bottom you'll see it says new plugins. That is because this version of ALS is actually a plugin. So if we see here, ALS Locomotion System Refactored, it is on. So for this video, we're going to be integrating it with the Voxel plugin. This will work, I believe. So the way I'm doing it will only work with Voxel Pro just because we're using TCPs. If you configure RPCs for the replication, go ahead and you can do it that way. This will be the Pro version just because TCPs is the way we're going to be replicating. So we have to restart. Once we're back into the program, we're going to check and make sure we have both of the plugins we need. So Advanced Locomotion is there, and Voxel is on. Okay, so the next step we're going to do, so we're going to check to see if we have all of the stuff from the plugin. So we drop down plugins, we're going to see these two things. So I'm just going to click here. We have the refactored content and the C++. I don't do C++, we're just going to go to content, we're going to go to ALS, character, and we're going to go to the character blueprint. Wait for that to populate. Okay, so it does look a little different than the normal ALS, you'll notice, but it is all here. It is going to work. So the way we're going to do it, we're going to go to game mode override, And we're gonna go down to the ALS game mode. It should populate it for you. And we have an ALS character. Cool. You'll notice that this version of ALS, there is now footprints on the ground. The foot tracking is much more accurate. And we're going to do a little adjustments to this guy. So he works with the voxel environment. So if we now add a voxel world and add the world, we're just going to make a little thing in here so we can test it out. So normally, like you saw, the character, his legs would just freak out like crazy because he was not rigged properly for the voxel world. We're gonna have to save a voxel world here, and now that we have two screens, we can see, so we can see that the voxel world is just not here. Okay, so the way we fix that, we are going to, okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to our ALS character, we're gonna add voxel, so we're gonna go to invoker with camera and a voxel no clipping. Compile that, and now it will look right. Sorry, I'm inside of a wall. Let me spawn us here. Oh, it's because this player start is in a wall, or it's inside of that. Let's go here, current camera location, and try here. Okay, that's better. So now you'll see if I walk up to the voxel landscape, my legs are not freaking out like crazy. They look totally normal. I can also check the client side to see if he's freaking out. This guy isn't freaking out either, so everything seems to be working fine. There is one issue that I can try to replicate here for you. When you mantle, it doesn't work very well. Unfortunately, when it tries to mantle the voxel world, it kind of like breaks. I haven't found a fix for that yet, but the next thing we're going to do is we are going to add cubic destruction. So if this is all you needed, you can end the video, but if you also want to know how to dig and use the cubic destruction, you can stay. Okay, so the next step we are going to do is we're going to add some code here. So let me get my other project so I can look at it. Alright, so first of all, we are going to add the cubic destruction code as well as some extra stuff for replication. So let's grab it. Copy it over. So I'll give you the information that you need. Okay, so obviously these are all red. That is just because it was taken from another project and there's some things that need to be added. Okay, so first of all, we're going to be adding some variables. First variable is going to be start trace. I'm not going to worry about the type right now. I'll add that in a second. Shoot dir. So shoot direction. Weapon range. The part spawner. Random position. And all of this is in the cubic destruction example. And target. So this is going to be a vector. Change it. This is going to be a vector. Change. This is going to be a float. Change. This is going to be a voxel physics cubes. Voxel physics part spawner cubes. And this one is going to be a vector. Oops. And this one is going to be a voxel world. There we go. Okay. So we're going to compile that. Obviously there's still some stuff that is broken. So we're going to add a function called getPlayerViewPoint. And we are going to add this code. So I'm going to show you it. Don't worry, I'll let you see it all. So get player point of view, get controller, I'm going to cast the player controller. And so what we're going to do is, now that we have this local variable, my player controller. So now we're going to go to here, we're going to set this. So cast a player controller, set the my player controller, and we're going to get my player controller. Player controller object. Oh, I see the issue. So make sure this is actually a player controller. Alright, and now connect this. And so we got get player point of view, get controller, cast to the player controller, my player, blah 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 blah. So just paste all these into here and compile. Let's see. So we're gonna have errors because this code is fine, but the actual event graph has issues. So we're gonna go back to the event graph. We're going to click on this, we're going to refresh it, and it is now working. So all you do to refresh is right click on it and refresh. So for you, you're not going to have to do this because I already have the code. You're going to simply, on the custom event, add voxel. You're going to pull out of here, get player viewpoint, boop, and that's what you do. I already have it. Okay, so add voxel, we're going to get the player viewpoint, get rotation, X vector. Now we're going to add a start trace, add the start trace to its location. The shoot dir is going to be connected here. And just so I don't forget, on weapon range, make sure you set this to 700 so you can actually have a range. Okay. Get actor location, minus, add these together, dot, and we are going to add these into here. So dot, and then you're gonna get multiply. You're gonna add the dot to here. You're also gonna add this shoot direction to the multiply, shoot start trace, add into 2 pluses. Shooter is also going to here, weapon range, line trace by channel. Add these in here, so it's just a simple line trace. Deal with impact has an error, so what we have to do for this, we're going to go click on our landscape, our voxel world. We are going to go to details, this little button if you're on UV5, add a voxel world blueprint, go back. We're going to cast to our voxel world blueprint. Sorry. Cast voxel world. Cast a voxel world blueprint, and we're gonna hook these up. Oops. So this goes to hit actor, and we are here. There we go. Okay, so I'm deleting this. You won't have that. So we're gonna line trace. We're gonna go to cast a voxel world blueprint. Out hit is going to break hit result. Let me make this a little easier to see. And hit actor is going to go to object, voxel, add a sequence, random float range. We're going to remove sphere, add the position from impact point. Yeah, so all this will be in the cubic destruction example if there's any issues. All of this stuff from here. So just look at it, pause the screen if you need to. I'm just gonna go through, okay. So you can see this is from here. Like I said, it's all in the cubic destruction example. So if you don't see it in here, it's in there. And also up here, this should be, yeah, that's fine, I guess. Custom event. Okay, and I just want to rep. There you go. Cool. So this stuff won't be in it, I don't believe, in the cubic destruction. So really focus on that. And this is our next issue. So add voxel has an issue. It's not actually an issue because we already have the custom event. So we're just going to call it. And bloop. We should be good. So we're going to test. So we have check marks. Another thing we need to do, we need to go to our Voxel World blueprint, go to multiplayer, make sure you turn that on. Next, we're going to go to the event graph of the Voxel World blueprint. Go to, alright, so we're going to add an event begin play. We're going to calculate the multi-interface instance. Cast the Voxel multiplayer TCP. So TCP is only a pro version ability, so that's why I said this is a pro version step. And branch, compile. Trying to think if I'm missing anything. Let's try it out. Okay, so as you'll see, the world is invisible. The way we fix that is just going from voxels, and it'll appear again. Why it happens, I don't know. Okay. Now, as you see, we are destroying the voxel world. The client and server are both seeing it. There's currently a line trace set. I can fix that for you. And that's basically everything. The feet. So if I break the voxel world now and I stand up here and I go to the preview, you'll see that no one's having any feet issues. So that is quite a big deal. So if you don't want the line traces, you probably don't even have them on because I didn't tell you. You simply just go to your line trace in your ALS character. Instead of having it on for duration or whatever, just click none, compile. And I think that's everything. Yeah, so we shoot it, everything works. Cool. If you see that, I don't know, let's see if we can try to get it. Doesn't seem like I can mantle on these areas. Mantling is possible. But if you find that, you find a place where you can mantle. Let's see if I can. See how I kind of just got thrown through the entire map? I'm not sure why that's happening. It's got to be something with the ALS character. The way you fix that, you go to your ALS character, go to ALS character, select mantling settings, simply disconnect the mantling, and if you try that now, we are going to mantle. It won't let us mantle. Try, it won't let me mantle. But you may find in certain scenarios that, see, I'm trying to jump right here, but because this is somewhere I would mantle, it doesn't know what to do. So I can't jump because I'm in a mantling position. So what I'm going to do, I am just going to add jump, or input action jump. Okay, compile that, and play. And let's try now. So everywhere I should go now that I can mantle, I should just jump. Let me try to get a better. So this I could most likely mantle on, but I am just jumping. I think that's everything. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I hope this really helps you, because when I found out, it definitely helped me a lot. But yeah, if you have any issues, just let me know, and I'll try to help, even though I am kind of a newbie at this all, so I might not be able to help you. Alright.